What is up, my bananas, and welcome back to more Real Talk Sunday. Series where I basically give you guys a Call of Duty commentary. Because Sunday's so close to Monday, we all don't want to go back to school and work on a Monday and all that boring jazz. As you can see, this isn't Call of Duty. This is Kdhif91 versus Street Fighter. Or Street Fighter is Tekken, mind you. Stuttering for the loving one there. No one really stuttering there, it's just me messing up. But whatever. I've been playing this game more and more. As I recall, this actually was the first ever game I actually showed me use my HD PVR on. And this was like about around March, so this is like so long ago. But I was like, let's do some Tekken versus Street Fighter matches. I've been playing this game a little bit more lately, so I kind of know a little bit more combos than I used to. I'm not beast mode ninja nothing and stuff like that, but I completely digress on that. Today's subject I got is, I basically got a tweet the other day, right? If someone asking me for this Real Talk Sunday, can you talk about your gaming history? Now, I've done this before, but this is when I was like, this when Black Ops was out, so that's like, what, 2 years ago? Yeah, I've been making videos for like 4 years now, but yeah, this was back in that day, and I talked about, but I guess I gotta go ahead and reinstate everything now. I don't have to, but I chose to, and I was like, this is a great topic to talk about. So, as I recall, going back to my childhood, my first ever gaming console, I believe, was the Super Nintendo. And the first game I've ever actually owned myself was Super Mario World. Now, I've played more games than that, and if you didn't know, FYI, Super Mario World is my favorite video game of all time. But yeah, I recall playing that back in the younger days. Me and my little sister would always play it. My sister Bria, who I mentioned before, who's 19 and I'm 20, so we're like 11 months apart, but whatnot. But I recall me and her playing that game. My dad got me a Super Nintendo, and I remember my mom got me one because I used to go to my uncle's house. It was really my grandma's house, and my uncle had a Super Nintendo, and his sister had a Super Nintendo, and I would always go in their room just to try to play it, and they would do that trick where the controller's not hooked up, but I think I'm playing it, and then my mother noticed that at one point, and I recall she told me that she's like, I'm so sick of them trying to trick my baby, I won't buy him a game. So my dad and my mother invested in me in a Super Nintendo. Do I still have that thing? No, but I still have some cartridges, old school video games I still have. But yeah, I remember they invested that into me, and ever since then I went from a Super Nintendo. I wanted a Dreamcast when I was younger, but I never got it. So my mom and dad got me a Nintendo 64, and I played the mess out of my Nintendo 64 after that. Before I go into Nintendo 64 story, I had on my Super Nintendo, I had the same one I mentioned earlier. They let me borrow Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Legend of Zelda, and that was it. And total games I can remember is my dad got me some NBA and NBA 1995, and I had a Madden game. I can't remember what version of the Madden game was. I can't find that game nowhere. I think I let my cousin borrow that like 7 years ago. And I had Yoshi's Island, and if I've never told you this, I probably haven't, but Yoshi's Island has the best graphics to me of any video game ever made. Don't care what anyone says. And but yeah, so I ended up, like I said, back to the 64 story. So I got a 64 around Christmas. I had Donkey Kong 64, Super Mario 64, and WWE Attitude, I believe. And guys, I played the hell out of those games. Seriously, man, I especially love Donkey Kong 64 and Super Mario 64. Actually, well, I'll go into another story with that. But I was kind of nervous at Super Mario 64 because I wasn't really used to Mario talking, so it kind of freaked me out at first. I had a fear of that game because there's always like a stupid fish that would always jump out and scare me. I know you gamers are probably thinking I'm weird and everything, but back in those days, that's where gaming was actually at its core. But yeah, and I recall at some point, I remember I got when I was 10, I got Super Mario Kart. No, it's Mario Kart 64. And I love that game to the T. I got my sister play it. My sister ended up really being a fan of racing games. And that was basically my 64 life. I basically did not get a GameCube. I did not get the original Xbox. It was like 5 years later to actually receive the PS2. I think I was like 15 when I got my PS2, so I was like 7. I was 7 on, I guess I was 7 on Super Nintendo. I had to have been at least about 9 or 8 for Nintendo 64. And 15 on PS2. And the first game I ever got was Zatch Bell. Zatch Bell is a Japanese cartoon, or what you call it, quote, I'm doing air quotes here, anime cartoon game. It was good. It was like something that introduced me to fighting games. It didn't make me into fighting games like I am to this very day, but it was something to watch. Something to play. I really did enjoy the game. And I got that, and I got some other games from my dad's friend. He let me borrow a few games. I got Racing ATV Off-Road Fury. That game's terrible. I hate that game. And he got me Ratchet and Clank. It took me a while to actually beat Ratchet and Clank. I actually beat Ratchet and Clank on my 16th birthday, believe it or not. And as you obviously know, we're doing Ratchet and Clank Future Tools of Destruction, which is like the 5th and 6th installment technically in the series. But after playing that on PS2, they got me really into Ratchet and Clank series. Then I bought a lot of PS2 games. I have like 14 PS2 games. If you ever want to see them, I'll do a little thing where I basically show my games to you guys one day if you want me to. But I got like 43 games. I'm willing to show them to you. But yeah, I got that. And I got like a lot of PS2 games. When I got 17, I've been wanting a PS3 for the longest. But my dad told me he's not going to spend, $300, $600 on me if I want that. I need to go get it. So my first ever job, the first check, I didn't even have a full check, but the first thing I got was basically a PS3, and ever since then, you've been seeing PS3 gameplay. I mean, and of course, between the middle of that time, I've had a about an Xbox about 2 years ago, 360, but I don't like to pay online, so I rarely play that. And I had a Wii, not the Wii for the longest. So I mean, let's basically break it down. So I've had this Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, a PS2. A Xbox 360. No, I had a Wii, an Xbox 360, and a PS3. Am I a fanboy? No, I just like to play all genre of gaming, and that's my gaming history. I know it was confusing. Bear with me here. I'm not the best storyteller. I'm completely aware of it, but that's like the subject I was given. I was like, let's go ahead and talk about the subject. But I mean, like, overall, those games I have, like I said, I like to play any game. I'm more of a Mario fan, believe it or not, than an actual Sonic fan. But I don't mind playing Sonic every once in a while. It's really fun and something to enjoy. And I hope you guys enjoyed this little short commentary. That is it, guys. Join me next week for more Real Talk Sunday. Later, guys. God bless, peace, and thanks for watching. Later, the Banana Nation.